Today's kind of a chill day. Far out. Want to chill with me for a little bit? 20 minutes? You want to spend some time with me? We'll watch it all the way through. Let's chill out together. Let's chillax, right? Let's get right to a question, okay? Here's a really good one. This is from Feminine Poet. Feminine, okay. Lee. Glad you have a place to go. That was on the one day that 2 days ago when I went to a hotel for the night because it was so dastardly weather going on. It's starting to warm up just a little bit. Yeah, I think that Arctic blast is finished. Okay. Thank you for your spirit. Thank you. On your spirit too. You may have answered this question, and I know you can't say where you park for your privacy. But could you do a segment on that? Find that to be one of the challenging things, especially if on is working. Okay, especially if on is. And they do not have time every day to look for a parking spot. Okay, especially if you're working, right. Also challenging is keeping a van cool. Well, let's go with this parking thing. I am a city dweller and I park in the city. Oh my gosh, it's true. It's true. I have kind of settled in on cities. I used to boondock a little bit. I barely boondock anymore. Although I will be going to Quartzsite tomorrow. And that's boondocking, isn't it? Yeah. But I stay in the city. Now, I know a lot of you are in the city. And you've told me you are, and one of the reasons you're in the city is because you can't afford rent anymore, and you've been kind of pushed out into your vehicle. And this is where I come in. This is what I can show you and teach you how to do. Some of you don't have the money to buy a big fancy ProMaster or a Mercedes Sprinter or whatever. They're very expensive. And then you have to do the build out. Well, to me, the minivan is perfect because you've already got it carpeted somewhat. It's already insulated. And if you can live in a small space, it's perfect. Now, I don't do a build out. I'm just kind of going over this for somebody new. I don't do a build out. This is my home. I have my floor. It's perfect for me. But you can also do a build out. There's no reason if you don't have good knees, you might be a little bit larger. Do a build out. Go for it. You can do it. You can, and there's a billion of them on YouTube. Build out minivans, and you can put a platform. You can make it yourself out of, there's just a billion ways you can do it. You know what I'm saying? You can even just put bins down and get a board, have Home Depot, measure it out, go into Home Depot and say, I need this board and I need it cut at this measurement, and they'll cut it for you. Oh yeah, right? And ask them what kind of board you should get, because if you're not a carpenter, you need to know that you need to have one side at least that's smooth. Okay, you don't want it all rough. Okay, so there's a clue. But you can do this. Now, the reason I'm saying this, what does that have to do with parking? Well, it has a lot to do with it. I need to help you all park, because that's one of the biggest fears besides your car breaking down and losing your home or getting in an accident is the parking issue. Those two kind of go hand in hand. And a lot of you, the reason I'm mentioning that a lot of you are older women, because you don't have good Social Security. A lot of us, my age, we don't. Because we were homemakers, right? We were taking care of babies. And we were raising children, and we didn't always. And then we could have gotten divorced. And we don't have a whole lot of Social Security coming in. Let me just say that. Some of y'all do, but some of us don't. So So some of you don't have good Social Security, and some of you, my age, don't want a boondock. You don't want to go out into the wild. You just don't. It's dusty and dirty out there, and when you're on BLM land in Arizona, it's true. Southern Arizona, it's dusty and dirty. Some of you don't want to do that. You don't want to do it all the time, right? There's where it comes in the parking. A lot of you, one of you asked me if I was a biker chick. I seem like I might have been a biker chick. Not really. I don't really, they scare me. I mean, they always say it's not if, it's when you get in an accident, and they can really, I was a nurse's aide for a while. And, I took care of people who had been in motorcycle accidents. Okay, side note. Okay, so you need to know where to park. You want to be in the city because that's where your grandkids are. That's where your children are. Just because you can't afford your rent and you can't afford to rent a place doesn't mean that you have to go out and boondock all the time. Go out on BLM land. You're stuck out there. Au contraire. No, you can be in the city and you can have fun living in your minivan or a van. Vans are fine. They can be just as stealthy as a minivan. Maybe not as, but yeah, you can do it. If you do want to get a ProMaster or something that you can stand up in, that's fine. But even if you don't stand up in your minivan or a van, you can stand up out there. You can go to parks, you can go to libraries, you can go to Walmarts, you can go to restaurants, you can go visit your friends, you can go visit your kids, you can go visit your grandkids, you can go to the theater, you can go to a museum, you can just walk around downtown. Doesn't mean that you're just stuck in your van and your minivan, you can't stand up and you're going to become like crippled. Okay, so I'm just I know I'm being exaggerating, but there's things to do in the city. Just because that you can't afford rent doesn't mean you're forced out into the wild. That doesn't mean that at all. You can live in the same city that you're living in, although if it's really, really cold and you're in the east, northeast, no. What you could do though, what you can do is you can go in the summer, be in the east so you can be with your family, but come out to Arizona. Do it. I mean, as long as you have a decent running minivan, you can do it. Or you can just go south, go to Florida. Yeah. But there are, or you don't even have to go that far. You probably go, I don't know, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, something like that, right? You can go on to Texas or something, and you can find a city and you can be in it. So the options are huge. Okay, let's get to the parking issue. Parking. So if you're going to be in the city, where are you going to park? How do you know? I don't know the city. How do I know? I know Tucson. I know where to park in Tucson. And I've gotten to know Flagstaff. I know exactly where to park in Flagstaff. I have no issue with parking in those two cities. So, and I didn't have any trouble when I was in California. Once you get going on it and you've done it a few times, you know what to look for. So here's what you look for. If you're going to go in a residential area, go residential. You want to look for medium neighborhoods. You don't want it crime-ridden, but you don't want it so highfalutin that people are going to call on you. Like, who is this person? They're going to be, they're going to call, and then the police are going to do a welfare check, because that's how they'll get you. Or we just want to do a welfare check because somebody will call and say, we think there's somebody in trouble out there. Then they'll do the welfare check and then blah, blah, blah. And then they'll probably tell you, oh, well, it's better not to park it or whatever. But that's how the neighbors can get you, So just be stealthy. That's why I love my minivan. I have solar up there, but nobody can see it, blah, blah, blah. You'll have to see other videos. So I won't go into that part. But what you do is you find a medium neighborhood, nice, but, not so fancy. Find places where there's a wall. In Arizona, we got lots of walls. People just wall their yards up. It's everywhere. They're silly with it. They're silly with these walls and fences. I think it's maybe to keep coyotes out. Maybe it's there to keep, although they can jump a 6-foot fence. Maybe it's because we have more homeless. Don't be scared of the homeless. They're not going to get you. And, you know, so, but a lot of people in Arizona have walls around their property, around their yards. So find maybe one with a wall, okay? Don't park right in front of their house. Don't park right in front of their house. That's going to be weird for them. They'll keep looking out like, why is that car parked there? Are they coming to visit me? What's going on? If there's 2 houses, you got 2 houses, okay? And one's here and one's here. Park in between them. That way one thinks you're visiting them, the other people thinks you're visiting them, okay? It's just it's confidence and expect good outcomes. But a fence or a wall or something is perfect. Yes, I park every day the same spot every single, or at night. I park the same spot every night. It's a nice wall. And on the other side, it's a nice wall too. Because there's walls everywhere. Like I said, they're silly with them in southern Arizona. There's walls, fences, big fences. They've got like a lot of landscape in front of it or behind it in the yard. So yeah, they like people in southern Arizona. We like our privacy. Okay, so that's your best bet. Try it out. You want to do it here? Pick a city. Could be Tucson, even Phoenix. Yeah, Yuma's okay. I'm not a big fan of Yuma. I just really got to say that. Yuma always has kind of a bad name about it. You know, a lot of drugs. Yeah. No, thank you. Yeah. But anyways, Yuma's always kind of had I know a lot of nomads love Yuma, and I'm from Arizona. So I'm like, wow, 40 years there. So I do consider myself from Arizona. I never was that impressed, with Yuma. We in Tucson aren't impressed with Yuma. But, anyways, okay, enough of that. That's just my little opinion piece. Okay, so that's the best I can tell you. You have to try it out. There was one place 2 years ago that I parked. I was here in the winter. No, I came here around April. And I knew I was going to leave in May. So I was here for 2 months. 2 months' time, I parked really in an area I never knew that well. But I parked in this one spot every single night. Every night. It wasn't to the very end that I got one of those. It was very soft. You knew those when the cops, because the cops are like that, right? So, and they knocked, and I knew I could hear voices out there, and I knew that it was them. I just didn't answer. It's like, I don't have to answer my door. Maybe I'm not even in here. And I didn't answer, and I spent the night, and then I realized, well, maybe I'll move. After a couple of months, I'll probably move. It didn't kill me, didn't hurt me, didn't scare me or anything. It's just the way that it was, and I found another spot, You can always do Walmarts. Now, some people say do hospitals. You have to pay a hospital. If you're going to be here, I believe that you do have to pay. At the university hospital, you do have to pay. Maybe the other ones you don't. Hotel parking lots, I know that you usually have to let them know they have security now, so they're kind of tightening that up. But maybe so. Okay, now if you're on the road and you want to park, if you're on the road, you're traveling, let's say you live in the east, and then it's summertime, and you're going to go and be with your family in the east, and you're driving, hit all of the rest stops, or Pilots or Loves, and sleep there at night while you're traveling. That's what I do. When you come back and it's starting to get cold in the east, you're going to drive back to Arizona. Same thing. Rest stops. Yeah. I mean, you can sleep in a rest stop. Just, lock your doors and cover your windows and go to sleep. And expect a good outcome. Don't expect that, don't be laying there fearful. Once you start doing it, you'll get over your fears. If something seems scary, get in your car and drive. And go to the next rest stop. It might be miles down the road, but, and at night, but you can do it. You can do it. There you go. Enjoying some cream of chicken soup, chicken rice, at bread and butter. Went to see my friend Connie. She puts me in a spot where she can kind of talk to me as she's working. She's the wife of the owner. They're both owners. And it's a nice place to go to get away. You know, it's too cold to go to the parks right now. So I'm really busy. Get some coffee, get some research done for a video. Just be around people. It just feels good. Yeah, I've been really happy. And got my mojo back. It's a lot of fun. And then... You're probably full, huh?
No.
Oh, okay.
A little busier than normal, but not that busy. Not as busy as we should like this.
We should set up a time so we can go walking and actually talk.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's kind of hard to talk about.
Well,
Once it starts cooling
it's still
off,
nice though, but you know.
I haven't been to the gym in probably say a couple months.
Yep. Let me put some lipstick on. Put all your stuff away and check out for the day. There's no time to waste when it's 100 degrees. Burns under my feet. Won't you have a drink with me? We head into town, see what it's about. Barely need a shirt, though the sun has almost set. Make the most of it. I know we will dance and sing. There's a heat wave. There's a heat wave rolling in. There's a heat wave, yeah. There's a party in the streets and the city's on fire. Another chance, pretty people holding hands, uplifted by the night, the way that it should be. Can let it slip away, 'cause this might be our final summer day. There's a heat wave. Well, everybody, I appreciate you watching and watching it all the way through. Thanks for chilling out with me, chillaxing. Yeah, it's just a really nice, relaxing Sunday. Parked in a spot where there's nothing covering me except a tree, so I'm getting partial sun. It's probably why it's warming up just a little bit, but it feels pretty good for a change. I think we're done with that Arctic blast. Mwah. Till tomorrow, everybody, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, go to minivanlee.com for products, and if you want to give me a gift, easy to do, any amount. And on Amazon, it's the book, How to Live in a Minivan, the Minivan Lee way. I know, I got the Pebbles thing going on. The Flintstones. It used to be a Friday night event, wasn't it? A cartoon on Friday night. Wow. That was pretty popular. Okay. I love you guys. Bye.